Hello everyone, my name is Matthew here at Crescentvale. We're doing a self-graded card review of a 1996-1997 insert from the Fleer Metal, you can say card group. This is a Metal Shredders insert and it is Michael Jordan. It's a Kobe year. It is a sought out after card, and we're going to be grading it on centering today, edges, corners, and surface. Then we're going to come up with a total grade. We have graded once of these cards before, so the previous one that we have already sold, it graded out at a 9 with, I believe, 3 9s for the subgrades and one 8.5 for the corners. I just recently was cross-referencing other cards, PSA 9s, PSA 10, Beckett 8.5, 9, 9.5. So those are essentially the cross grades that I was looking at. And after we're done with our grading, we also pump it through an AI agent that's on Twitter/X known as Grok. And Grok gives its cross-reference as well. So there is cross-referencing the other grading companies, my essential self-evaluation of the card, and then we also have AI. Quick disclaimer, all grades that are given this video in the article on the eBay listing, essentially my grades. It's sold as raw. And we can't guarantee that the grades will cross over at the other grading companies with these grades. What we can do is say this is the best of my abilities to assess the card. And then we can also not guarantee that the card's monetary value will increase or decrease with the grades. So there we go. Card is one of my favorites. The Fleer metals are really good, I think, for just holding. If you like to hold a card for long term, I think it's really a good usage of a hold. Some people just like to flip, and that's okay. These cards I've had for several years, so I'm in between a flipper and a collector. I've collected Jordan since, I think, 1991, 1992. And there's some that I do sell, so there is a flip to them. But there's also some that I'm totally comfortable holding for years and decades. So I'm a little bit of both. And you can essentially to see that I'm trying to do my best to educate the hobby on high definition photos, high definition video, talking through the condition of these cards. And it's basically a transparency so that if anyone buys online, that we're all becoming more transparent with our conditioning, how we display the condition of the cards and our assessing of it. So here we go. Starting off, we'll do the edges and the corners first. I've seen some other cards. I think our corners got an 8.5 last time, and our edges got a 9. And then, cross-referencing some other cards, just taking all that into effect, and then also seeing what Grok is going to do too, because there is times where I'll make a, I believe that is not supposed to be there. But let's take a look. We have multiple copies of this card. I think I even have some near the top of this pack here. So yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so that is a stain on the surface of the card. It was on his jersey, and that will be a markdown. Pretty significant too, in the probably 8.5 to 8 range, because that is noticeable by the naked eye. And that's one of the reasons why I like having multiple copies of a card. You can cross-reference it to see, hey, is that actually part of the card, or is that it's either manufacturing error or just holding the card over time. And I don't believe that would come off with any kind of using a fiber cloth. I think that is kind of a surface flaw, basically. So that takes it down to an 8.5 to an 8. And we can just go ahead and do the other surface while we have the card up in this condition. Yeah, you can see that with the naked eye. I believe that's another spot on the bottom there. So the surface on this card and one up here. So we're probably in a 7.5 range now for the surface of this card. We could probably go 8. I'll go 8. because overall a lot of the surface is in good condition, but there is some issues with it. So 8 on that. We were talking about corners, and this first corner down here kind of feels like a 9. This corner, with a metallic corner, you can't always tell, but I believe that's a 9 kind of corner there. Maybe 9.5. This corner, a little bit of whitening, 9. This corner here, kind of, I would say a little bit more wear, so that is probably an 8.5. So we're around a 9 overall. Bit of a, what's the word? Wear on that bottom right corner. So I would overall give these corners a, see, between an 8.5 and a 9. So let's say for the video, we'll do 8.5, and then for the corners. And then if Grok gives us a different assessment, then we'll take Grok's assessment into account. But right now we have an 8 and an 8.5 for this card. Edges actually look really nice. Don't see too many issues with the edges. So yeah, that's leaning towards a 9.5 on edges because I've not seen any. A little bit here. Not much. Already kind of assessed that. So yeah, I think it's a 9.5 for the edges on this one for me. So we have an 8.5, an 8, edges 9.5. So basically an 8.5 and a 9.5 would average out to a 9. The 9 and the 8.5 right now is an 8.5 averaged out. So based on the other cards that I have looked at for the centering, when I saw a 9.5, there was more room at the top than on the right side. So that's good. I honestly, personally, would say that there needs to be an equal amount of room from the top. If there's a logo, I think it's a pretty strong anchor point. But yeah, actually this looks like a 9.5 centering. So now we had an 8.5 averaged out and a 9.5 for our centering. So overall, I'm going to give it a 9. But there is an 8 on the surface. So, that will be recorded. That will be in our subgrades. That will be at the article, so forth. But thank you for watching. This gets a 9 similar to the previous ones. And so far we've got 2 9s on these. We're going to have some other cards coming up on our eBay page. Please check that out. Please continue to check back. And thank you for watching.